The first day of the Adam Montgomery trial has now wrapped up after opening statements and testimony from a number of witnesses.
During openings today, Montgomery's defense claiming his estranged wife, Kayla, is the one who killed Harmony Montgomery. Former prosecutor Patricia LaFrench joins us again today. Let's begin there. Patricia, the state and the defense telling two completely different stories of who's at fault here. Could those claims by the defense make it more difficult for the state?
Right. I mean, I don't think this was hardly a surprise to the state. I mean, there were, two people in that car with Harmony in terms of who could have killed her. So it's not a surprise that the defense was going to say this. So I think the state was prepared to present their evidence that would rebut this claim by the defense.
Patricia, let's talk about what's coming up tomorrow. So Kayla Montgomery, the wife of Adam Montgomery, expected to take the stand. She'll be there tomorrow. Right. Now, as we know, she has laid out one version of how Harmony was killed. So what should we expect now from Kayla as the defense has presented the accusations against her that she was the one that killed Harmony?
Right. So, I mean, you have her testimony, and I presume, after the fact, you will have supporting documentation evidence from the state to support or corroborate her testimony. And I expect at one point the state will ask her, did you kill Harmony? Which, of course, she would be expected to say no. So, that's just to get it out there, to make sure that it's on the record that she denied killing her. It's more, making it for the record than anything else.
And prosecutors called a number of witnesses today, including Harmony Montgomery's mother and foster mother. So let's talk about that strategy that the state is taking by calling them and finding a way to kind of pull at the emotional heartstrings of the jury here, perhaps?
Right. And it's very typical. When I was prosecuting, you want to start out with a strong witness, someone that the jury can connect with. A lot of times I would start out with my victim. Obviously, the victim is not here. So you want to really start your case with strong witnesses who will kind of bring in the jury and get them engaged. Of course, this is a horrific case, so I know the jury has probably been attentive throughout. But sometimes cases, especially with this many witnesses, you have witnesses who are kind of not boring witnesses, but just kind of the average everyday technical witnesses. So those typically you would put in the middle of the trial, but as a prosecutor, I always wanted to start and finish with strong witnesses. So whether it would be the victim testifying first, and then perhaps I would have a police officer who had interviewed a defendant and got his confession, that you would end with that. So beginning and ending is very crucial to the state's case. So I anticipated if they weren't going to call Kayla first, then they would definitely start out with a family member to get the jury engaged.
Always appreciate your perspective. Thank you for your time. Former prosecutor Patricia LaFrench. Thanks again.
Thanks, Patricia.